Husband cheated while I was pregnant long. The details, just here looking for some solidarity with others who have been the victims of infidelity. In 31F and my soon-to-be ex-husband 31M had an emotional affair with someone much younger 18F, now 19 when I was pregnant. First he said it was just a super intense connection friendship and why should he stop talking to her. I had panic attacks at 6mo pregnant but he refused to stop talking to her. He even snuck out to see her one night because she was crying hysterically and freaking out about losing him. I was terrified of being alone and raising our son as a single parent, so I didn't push the issue, even though he knew I was a mess and I was losing weight and unable to sleep or go more than a few hours without crying. Then he told me that has always wanted an open marriage, to have time with other people, because I was the only person he had ever slept with and he was such a physical time person and it didn't make sense that he had only ever had time with me. We've been together for 11 years, married for 2, and B never mentioned anything like that ever, and also never told me I was the only person he had been with. I told him that didn't matter to me but he was so ashamed. Granted I never said no to anything he wanted to try and we had an amazing time life. He said that he wanted to be physical with this girl, he couldn't get it out of his head and needed to do it before our son was born. And also that that's how he wanted our relationship to be going forward. He promised he loved me and would always make me his priority, that he wouldn't fall in love with anyone else, that it was just time. I begged him for it not to be with her but he said that I didn't have a choice, he was going to do it regardless. And that he wouldn't be the one to end things, but if I said I wanted out he wouldn't stand in my way. So I acquiesced. He didn't sleep with her then, but did everything but time. I was 8mo pregnant at that point. I even considered, moving forward, letting him continue to have an open marriage. We talked about ground rules and everything. I said that once a year on his birthday I'd let him hire a really classy escort, if it was all about time that should be fine, no? Realizing now how little self-respect I had for myself and how wrapped up I was in being with him, how I'd do anything to keep him but he wouldn't do anything for me. Once our son was born in July I could feel him pulling away and confronted him again and asked him if he was in love with her and he said yes. He was so cold and distant to me at home, we barely spoke. But he would parade me out with friends and act like everything was fine when it wasn't, and I was dying inside. I cried every single day. He broke down too and said he was so sorry and he didn't understand how this happened, but he was in love with both of us and couldn't make a decision about what he wanted. And I'm thinking WTF, she's a child and we have a whole beautiful life together and you're willing to throw it away. It was like I meant nothing to him, like I wasn't good enough. I have never been so broken and completely traumatized. In October we took a few weeks apart so he could figure himself out and so I could find some peace. I moved into my parents' house with our 9-week-old son and did everything. Less than a week after I left, my husband slept with her. I found out after the fact. The day after he slept with her, he and I FaceTimed so I could virtually tour a daycare facility close to our home and he acted like everything was totally normal. I actually felt really positive after the call because it seemed like he missed me and had rethought things. When I got back home with the baby, he barely acknowledged that he missed me. I had to ask him. It was super awkward, and that night we were intimate with each other but I completely broke down because nothing had actually been addressed. I still didn't know who he wanted to be with or if we were going to split up. I felt so dirty and used. Only later did I find out he slept with a girl when I was gone and then I just felt so disgusting and manipulated. A few days later we talked about everything. This is when I found out he slept with her and made the mutual decision to divorce. Then he had a complete breakdown, saying it didn't feel right, that he didn't want to lose everything we had, so I agreed to give him one more chance. We said we'd separate for the rest of the year and then see how we felt. So I moved to my parents' little cottage in NH and have been there since. 3 days into our new separation and I knew it wasn't gonna work. We had a couples counseling session and he was still very cold and said he didn't know if he wanted to save our marriage. Then he went 6 weeks without even checking in on our son. Mid-December we FaceTimed again and I told him I was done and he agreed. Said he still didn't know what he wanted, but that he would advocate for himself and wanted to be in our son's life. I said you have shown no interest, WTF, and he said he was trying to respect my privacy and that it was so hard to reach out and talk to me when he was feeling so bad about everything. I told him to inquire about our son whenever he wanted to, and to let me tell him when I was uncomfortable or when it was too much for me. So now we live together in NY and it's insanely expensive to hire lawyers, so we're going to use a mediator for the divorce. What I really want is to hire the most intense lawyer possible and have a judge take everything away from him. I just don't have the money. I'm trying to get my life back on track. Ultimately, I will be moving to the greater Boston area where my parents live so I can be close to them for support and 3 hours away from my husband. I've been applying to jobs and looking for a place to live and daycare for my son. So I need money and can't spend it all on a lawyer. But I never want to see my husband again. I hate that he wants a relationship with our son, and honestly feel like he's doing it just for the optics. He's dragging his feet in choosing a mediator, and I just want this to be over. Being a single mom is so hard. I'm exhausted and broken and just want to give up sometimes, but I know I need to keep it together for my son and work hard to make a good life for us. I've been in therapy since the beginning of this fiasco, but I'm really struggling with feelings of embarrassment, heartbreak, anger, worthlessness, etc. I've been keeping it together when my son is awake, but as soon as he's down for the night, my thoughts start spiraling and I can barely sleep. For those of you who read this far, thank you. Not really sure what I'm looking for besides some solidarity or advice from anyone willing to give it. It's so hard to stay positive when I have such a long way to go and I'm so deep in my feelings. I'm just completely terrified of being alone for the rest of my life and not finding another partner who loves me and my son, and afraid that I'll never love someone as much as I loved my ex. I just want to be okay. Redditor's reactions update after. Redditor 1, keep pushing. Don't let him slow you down. Just remember, eventually he will try to introduce the girl to your child, so make rules for your child. Op answer, yes, this is one of my worst nightmares. She does not deserve a relationship with my child. She's half the reason he doesn't have his dad in his life. I have no idea how to go about setting those rules or how to be okay with it. My son is so little, only 5.5 mo, so if my ex stays with his girl, my son will grow up with her and have a good relationship with her. Which kills me. Redditor 2, get solid proof that he cheated and divorce him. Put him on child support, and I mean take him to the cleaners. Get yourself a therapist and a solid support system. A girl that age will not stick around to waste her youth on a man that age. She's 19 years old, so her world just got bigger, and he isn't the only man in the world, especially if she is in college or going to school. I give it 2 years max, you will come out on top. Op answer, I have an email he wrote me saying he wants an open marriage but only his spoken word that he slept with her. I have a therapist and my family has been such a great support system, thankfully. And yes, she's in her freshman year of college. I literally cannot believe she's wasting her time with him. College is about having fun and exploring, and she's breaking up my marriage. So effed up. Redditor 3, find out if it's to your advantage to file in New York, New Hampshire, or Massachusetts. The could be a big difference. Act quickly though. If you're in NY, he might be able to get an order to keep you from crossing a state line with your baby. However, if I remember correctly, NY is hard on cheaters when it comes to divorce. Document everything. Record all conversations. Op answer, yes, I'll definitely be looking into this. My mom's best friend is a MA divorce lawyer, so I'm talking with her tomorrow to see what info I can get from her about filing an MA, if that's more beneficial. I haven't spent a night in NY since early November, and I made him sign something that said he was aware that I was taking our son to NH for the indefinite future. So I have that, Didn't want to be accused of kidnapping my own child. Update: husband cheated while I was pregnant. Hello, helpful strangers, updating everyone on the dumpster fire that is my life. Things are still really tough. I'm in a new apartment 3 hours away with my son, have a great new job, and an amazing daycare for him. On the surface, I'm crushing it. Spend 5 minutes talking to me and I'll bring up my situation. I just can't get over it. I'm still so depressed, and struggling with very dark intrusive thoughts of rejection, betrayal, humiliation. Feeling so unloved is the most painful thing ever. My STBXH and I are in mediation and it's going as well as can be expected. He still very much wants to be in our son's life and comes to visit with his parents 1-2x a month. Every time I talk to him, he cries about how much he misses our son and how much it's killing him to not see him every day and feel like a father. He's still with his teenage bride. And everyone says, oh, it won't last. I'm 93% positive they will be together forever. And no word whatsoever about missing me or feeling sad that I'm not in his life anymore. It's truly like the past 11 years don't mean anything. I feel so used. I feel like a vessel he used to get a kid. While that's probably not the case, I just feel like it. He cares about and loves his girlfriend so much, way more than he ever loved me. And he fought for her and chose her. He's fighting for our son and choosing him. He just never fought for me. He didn't choose me. He didn't love me. And that's what I'm struggling with the most. I know everyone says I dodged a bullet. I realize that, yes. But it doesn't make it hurt less. It's not even that I want to be back with him, because I don't. It's just hard knowing that I gave everything to someone for so long who threw it away so easily. That's what's killing me right now. And, being a single mom to a 9-month-old, dating isn't really an option right now. So how to feel better. It's coming up on 1 year since I first confronted him about everything, Mother's Day last year when I was 6 months pregnant. And I don't really feel any better. Redditor's reactions. Redditor 1, he just never fought for me. He didn't choose me. He didn't love me. And that's what I'm struggling with the most. This genuinely made me tear up. But look at what you've done. You fought for yourself. You chose yourself. And one day, you'll find someone who will choose you too, and it won't be sordid or tainted. Not like your ex's great love affair. Well done on the new job and the new apartment. You're creating a new life for yourself and your son, and I hope it is soon filled with joy. Do something lovely with your son to celebrate your first Mother's Day. Start a tradition you can both honor every year. Redditor 2, sweetheart, he doesn't love anyone more than himself. His love is toxic. He didn't mind not hearing about your newborn son for 6 weeks. He didn't mind to use both of the woman he claimed to love. He's still using the other girl, not fighting for her. He knows that he lost you, and that's why he's not trying to say that he loves you both. Because he wanted to have his cake and eat it too, but it was clear that you wouldn't let him. But the other girl knew he was taken and was okay with being a side piece, you weren't. That's why he didn't fight for you. You are way too smart for him to feed with lies. Redditor follow-up, this post is absolutely true? Please read the above comment. Your ex is entirely too selfish to truly love another person because he only loves himself. He just uses others. Continue to be the best mother you can and make sure you raise your son to be a better person husband than your ex. Redditor 3, he comes crying to you about not getting to be with his son? I wouldn't listen to him. He made his choices. Also, he can spend his parenting wishes raising his teen partner. Op answer, lol, seriously, her parents still pay for everything, and now my ex owes me child support, so what they're gonna do for dates. Especially since she can't legally drink. It's all just freaking bonkers.